Just move that way just a little. That's it, that way it's right on your left ear.
Okay, alright. Well, g'day guys, and welcome to the start of The Long Way Up, another adventure series. And while this may be the beginning of the end for us, it is just the beginning for you. We are at our final destination, the mighty Uluru there in the background. So, if you want to see how we got this far, follow the series. If you want to binge watch the series, join our membership and you'll be able to watch the whole series right now. But I hope you enjoy it. We've spent a lot of time out on the road here. It's called The Long Way Up basically because we had to go all the way across to South Australia and up. But you'll get to see all that right now over the coming weeks, probably a couple of months, because obviously I haven't edited this at this point. So I would say it'll be about possibly 6 episodes. So anyhow guys, I hope you enjoy, and we'll see you as we go. Cheers. Guys, made it to Uluru. There it is in all its glory.
Jumping the Ranger.
Well, g'day guys, and welcome to the beginning of The Long Way Up. Now, I am in my driveway. It is the day before we leave, so for context purposes, it is the 19th of July. So I will be meeting Gary and Ben at the Bakers Hill Pie Shop at 6 AM tomorrow morning, where we will be heading out to the air highway. Plan is to camp at Newman Rocks a Saturday night, somewhere close to Ceduna, probably Penong, on Sunday night, and then we have a permit to camp at Googs Lake on Monday night, I think it is. And yeah, from there we go to Mount Fink, up along the Trans-Australia Access Track. We're going to take in a few of the ghost towns through there, into Kubapiti for a day or two, to William Creek, Lake Eyre, on the Oodnadatta track, and then up to Oodnadatta itself, making our way up to Curtin Springs and eventually Uluru, and then from there making our way back across the Great Central Road. Now, of course, you need permits to travel most of these roads, which we have them all in place. Gary has done a fantastic job planning this trip. I did not plan anything. I basically planted the seed of where I wanted to go on this trip, and Gary has done the rest. So shout out to Gary. He's done an awesome job organising all the permits, the route, and basically planned everything that we will be doing on this trip. Whether it goes according to that plan is another story. So just thought I'd quickly show the car is now packed up, ready to go. So literally the back will not look any different to a normal 1-2 night trip out. It has got everything in that I would normally take with me. The only extra thing in the back here would be, I've got 20 litres of fuel here. There's another 3 10-litre jerry cans in the back there somewhere buried. So I've got 50 litres of spare diesel. I've got my normal 20 litres of water there, plus another 10 litres of water up the back there somewhere. And down here, I've got the essentials. I've got the ginger beer. I've got a carton of bourbon in that box there. And I've got 2 slabs of water in there as well. And there is an emergency 10-litre pack near the centre console in case I get into trouble and I need to bail out, and I've got some water. So from this side, I'll spin you around. That is where it looks a bit more packed than normal. I've got 3 bags of firewood in there because across the air highway there's not a lot of firewood. All the drinks and everything down there. Bag of snacks there. I've got my Slide It Solutions pantry bag there, another bag there with some food in it, and all the camera gear there. And in the front, of course, I have to take my laptop because I will be downloading all the footage as we go. So the car is a bit more packed inside here than it normally would on a trip, but in the back here, basically it looks the same. There's a few extra bits and pieces. I've got 3 bags of kindling down there. Everything else is normal in the back there. So we're all packed, ready to go, and I can tell you, I cannot wait to get out on the road tomorrow. I've been itching for this trip for months now, and we're finally here. I've spent this morning prepping the car. Car's been serviced, so freshly serviced, had a major service, so all the fluids and filters changed, everything done. I have a spare air filter under the chair, a few tools, bits and pieces, recovery gears just behind the seat there. But the hardest thing we'll be doing is Googs track, which is 330 odd sand dunes. Can't wait for that. That's a bucket list item for me. A few bucket list items on this trip, which I can't wait to tick off. So yeah, that is it. I am basically going to chill out for the rest of the day, and I will see you on the road tomorrow when we catch up with Gary and Ben. Now, I won't film too much going across because we filmed it before, and Gary's recently done a trip back which we filmed as well. So there won't be too much footage going across. A little bit here and there just to let you know how we were travelling. But when we get to Ceduna, hopefully we've got the interview with Jenny Denton Price, the wife of Googs himself. If that lines up, that'll be fantastic. We'll have a bit of a chat to her, and then we will hit Googs track. So yeah. All right, guys, we will see you on the road. Cheers. Pulling into the Bakers Hill Pie Shop, pick up the boys. When heading east, the Bakers Hill Pie Shop is a must meet point. Not only can you meet guys here, but you can also pick up your breakfast. Alright guys, so from here we made a beeline for the Air Highway as quick as we possibly could up the Great Eastern Highway and the Norseman Road, where we stopped at the 90 mile straight sign, Australia's longest straight section of road. From there into the Kaiguna blowholes, which was our first camp for the night, from which Gary decided to cook us dinner. Thank you very much, Gary. From there we made it out the next morning, back out onto the Air Highway, where we just kept going until we obviously needed some fuel. So our next stop was Madura, where we fueled up. Not too bad on fuel prices here. From there we crossed into South Australia at Border Village for some much needed lunch and refreshments, and from there we made it to our second night's camp, Cohen Old School site. I can tell you we woke up to ice on the bonnet and on the everything here. It was freezing cold, but nevertheless a free camp. Gary decided to cook us dinner again. Thank you again, Gary. Up in the morning and back through Penong. And from there we made it into Ceduna, where we had to stop at Foodland and get some much needed supplies. Alright guys, we have just left the Foodland. Had to go in there and pick up all our fruit and veggies because of course there's a checkpoint here in Ceduna, just on the edge where you cannot bring over any fruit and veg. So had to go in there, stock up on a few bits and pieces. Now we have confirmed this morning that we are going to visit our special guest and have a little bit of a chat. So we're heading over there right now. So we will see you shortly when we get there.
Hi guys, we've been honoured today with being able to come and meet with Jenny Denton prior to us starting Googs track this afternoon. For those of you that aren't aware, Jenny's got a bit of a story to tell. I think she was quite involved in Googs track. So what I'd like to do is just have Jenny tell us a little bit of a story.
Good morning, everybody. It is Goog, not Goog. Everybody calls him Goog, but it is Goog. We pushed the track for no reason at all, really. we never ever intended to push that track, but we lived on our boundary was right on the edge of the scrub, and the scrub went from there to the east-west railway line, of course. And Goog always wondered what was out there. He was very intrigued, and we were putting a water trough in outside our boundary because we had that many droughts and we wanted to save some sheep. So we put a water trough in, and we had the little rubber-tied 5000 tractor out there with a little blade on the front. And we finished doing what we were doing, let the sheep through and whatever, and then the kids and I went home because they were only small. We went home, and Goog never came home for hours. And I said to my kids, I don't know where Dad is, I think we better go and have a look. And anyway, yeah, Dinger, our eldest son, he's the one that got killed, Martin is his name. And he went outside and he said, oh, Dad's coming. And when he came inside, Goog, I said to him, whatever you've been doing, Goog? And he said, as casual as he could be, just mucking around up in the scrub to see what I could find. And that's how the track started. And then, of course, we started talking about it to Dennis, my brother, and my mum about it. And, of course, then they got a bit more, curious of what was out there. So, yeah, so then we pushed as far as we could with the rubber-tied tractor. But then that stopped us. We couldn't go any further. The hills got too big and too sandy, so we stopped. And and then we had 2 dozers. It's too long a story to tell you, but yeah, Goog was before we got married, or when we got married even, he had 2 HD 14 Alice Chalmers dozers, and they were puffed out, they were tied, and so we retired them. And so Goog said to Dennis, well, say we bring both dozers up by the workshop and we'll make one out of 2 so we can go further. So that's what we done. Yeah, and then we never had any 4-wheel drives. We never had no money. So Dennis bought one, and Goog and Dennis and myself and anybody that was coming along to help more or less built 2, one for Goog and one for myself.
I've heard the story that Goog got his name because of his love of eggs. Is that true, or is there actually a different story?
When he was a child, they lived down by Whyalla, down 400 k's down the road. They lived out there because his dad was cutting. They moved down there because his dad was cutting wood, to sell it for $1, I suppose. And they lived out of town on a sort of an out farm thing. And Goog used to ride into Whyalla with eggs from his chooks in the basket and sell them. And there was one older guy that lived in Whyalla, and he come very friendly with Goog, and this dear old man could never think of his name. So he said to him one day, hey, young Goog, don't forget my eggs next week. And that's how the Goog started. Okay,
so it's probably not quite right of his love of eggs, but the delivery of eggs and being involved in it. So as we spoke before we came on camera, it's something that it's good to actually know what happened, how it happened, and why it happened. And just one thing I'd like to put out there for everybody, and I know we had a little bit of a chat about it inside, was that when Goog did push that track through, he didn't have GPS, he didn't have compass, he had bushcraft and skills, and managed to go 200 and something kilometres through unmarked land, unmarked territory, through the scrub, through the jungle, and came out pretty much exactly where he was planning on coming out. And that's true talent. Okay, Jenny, look, like I said, we only wanted to film a little bit. We just wanted to get the brief outline of the story, and we wanted to get the facts. So I truly do thank you so much for your time.
That's okay.
We'll close this part off on the camera now.
I'll just tell you where we never pushed right through to Mount Feng. I just can't remember the kilometres now. Look, I've got to read my book again so I can remember. we knew the story that Commonwealth Hill is north of the railway line,
Yeah.
just about direct north from, this area, or where we were,
Okay.
lived out here. And they got their working Aboriginal men to come down in the scrub and cut the scrub down to try and make a track so they could bring their wool through to this Thevenard at port. This port at Thevenard to ship it away. Well, they got to the biggest sandhills and they knew they would never, ever, ever get a truck through there with a load of wool on it, so they stopped.
Yeah.
And Goog knew about this, and then we had a friend out here that had his own aeroplane, and he offered to fly Goog out there because they said at Commonwealth Hill, they knew the history of it. I don't know whether it was their relations. I think it was actually. That, had the station years ago, many years ago, before we pushed there. And they said they thought there was a drum of water out there where they finished. Because you could get from Tarcoola or the railway line to Mount Fink. You'd get in there because the people at Tarcoola used to come out to Mount Fink some Sundays or Saturdays or something to get away from the town and have a barbecue, lunch, or camp there or whatever they wanted to do. And so there was a well-worn track to there, but this side of Mount Fink when we got there, you could just barely see the tracks, barely. And, we didn't want to mix. Goog didn't want to disturb it. So anyway, they flew out there. He flew out there with Doug Marchant was his name, and they found the drums of water. The Googs' sharp eye. They found the drums, and so he knew then where he wanted to go. So that's where we went, and that's called Drum Camp. But you can't see where it is now. You've got no idea. But I've got, I think I might have one little strip map in there that's got some of the Ks on it. But we are going to make little signs and put out there for me.
Yeah.
Some of our talking points and what's in my book. Then when you read my book, you know exactly where they were. And,
Looking forward to that. And like I say, thank you very much for your time.
You're welcome.
We
anytime.
really appreciate that, particularly being able to get the facts from the horse's mouth.
Yep.
And across to everybody.
I will also put in there that don't forget anybody that's going through Googs Track is more than welcome to come and have a chat to me and have a coffee, have a chat, have a look at my what I call Googs Track room, with my few souvenirs, whatever.
Yep.
And I did write a book about pushing the track. I didn't go to school, but I managed it.
It's probably one of the better books.
All right, thank you very much.
Thanks very much, guys. We'll see you on the track.
Guys, well, what an amazing lady and an amazing family, all that hard work, and we had a good old yarn off camera. That room she's got out the back is full of some awesome stuff. So she did say anybody who is in the area planning on doing Googs Track, and even if they're not doing the track and they're in the area and they want to pop in, you can pop into her place, contact her through Facebook. She has her own Facebook group, and she'd be more than happy to talk to you and tell you the stories. And all right, guys, the next stop for us is the beginning of our big adventure. Cannot wait for that. All right. Alright guys, well we finally made it after 2 days of arduous travel, maybe a little bit more. Here we are at the start of Googs Track. That there to my left, which I'll swing around, that is Lone Oak. That is Googs and Jenny's farm, or was. Stoked to be here finally. It's taken a bit of time to get here, but a couple of real hard days, long days, got some Ks under our belt, but we are finally here. So that is the start of Googs Track up there. Itching to get on it and see what it's like, but amazing bit of country out here. I'll just pan around and show you Lone Oak, and then we'll don the sand flags, because you have to have sand flags on this track, and channel 18 on the UHF is the channel. So here is Lone Oak Farm.
I can feel the rain start to fall. Are you still running down those side streets with them alley cats and barking dogs? You feel the fear of losing everything, like walking round with broken glass in the dark. Try to bury all those memories. You light the match and watch the whole world burn. And I saw the distance as the weight of the world came crashing down on you.
Alrighty, we are on Googs Track, and it looks like there is a gate. So we better get out and open the gate. Alright, as I was saying before I was rudely interrupted by a gate, we are finally on Googs Track. So, just going down to 22 PSI all the way around now. I believe it doesn't get really soft until probably tomorrow after Googs Lake. But we'll see how we go. If we need to drop any further from here, we will, but it seems pretty hard so far. Looking forward to this. This is one item on the bucket list. Ticked. Awesome. Going to tick a few of those on this trip. Looking forward to it. Alright, I can see a bit of mud up front. I might go around that because I don't want to get the car. So, I'm going to have to go through it. Oh well, got no choice here. Nice and slow. There we go. No dramas at all.
The clouds open and cracked your world in two, and the rocks and the rain and the joy and the pain was all there for you. Starting from the back of the line, see the loss of innocence, like an explosion frozen in time. Now you're wishing to.
Well, that's the first sand dune done.
Only 335 to go.
Better get a move on then, eh?
Yep.
Okay, we are about probably 15, 16 kilometres in on the track now, heading for Googs Lake. That is our very first campsite and stopping point on this trip. Now, I must admit, I'm really enjoying this, climbing up and down over these sand dunes. I filmed a few. The ones on this side aren't really much of a challenge. A couple of really decent ones, but nothing really hectic, so I haven't filmed a hell of a lot of it. I'm just soaking it up because it's so good to be out here. It reminds me a little bit of the Holland track with a lot of sand dunes mixed in. So I lost count of how many we've gone over, but yeah, they're awesome. Some of them you go over, you can't see the track. You got to stop at the top, have a look and see where you're going. But yeah, no, it's good. There's a group of 3 cars in front of us, and we hit 5 just as we entered the track. Apart from that, we haven't seen anybody all day since we've been on the track. So, yeah. All right, I'm just going to soak up the rest of this track, and we'll probably catch you at the memorial. We'll get out and have a look around and maybe whack $1 in the money tree and see what pops out. All right, cheers, guys. Alrighty, we have finally made it to the memorial. Sign there says, there, look there. Googs Lake, 4 kilometres, Mount Fink, that way 78 kilometres. So that's where we're camping at Googs Lake. And here is the money tree. Gary's going to put some money in the tree and see what comes out.
Hang on, I'll put 50 cents in.
And you got
5 cents back.
That's your change, mate.
Fair dinkum, someone's a Jew.
It's like lotto, mate. You've got to put it back in so that you don't win anything.
Fair dinkum. I know
That'll do.
times are tough, people, but seriously, 5 cents.
So this is the Denton family memorial.
Okay, so the money tree that they've got here is part and parcel of the memorial. And Dinger, Goog's son, apparently like a drink, he died young, so the whole logic behind the money tree is to buy Dinger a beer. So that's why people leave money, so Dinger will always have money to buy a beer.
So there you go. That looks like a new plaque there. It's like, stand this way at Gleason's. Oh look, Jenny's got her spot already marked out, look. Yeah. The whole family hat. Jeffrey, we met him this morning as well.
Yep.
That's Dinger. Can't quite read his park. Martin.
Yeah.
Yes.
Martin Dinger Denton.
So there we go. It's a milestone of this track ticked off, and yeah, we're just going to have a look around and then we're going to make our way to camp. All right.
He can take you back before you cross that line. Trying to outrun the rising sun, but man, your past life's coming for blood. Dash all the distance as the weight of the world came crashing down.
Alright guys, well as you can see, camp is set up and the first ginger beer has been cracked. I'm standing right on the edge of Googs Lake. Googs Lake apparently stretches for about 14 miles, so you can see it there behind me. I'll get out a shot. There's a little bit of water in it over there, but yeah, it goes forever, and they've basically fenced it off to stop people from driving on it, to preserve it, because it is a pristine area. So the Denton family do a lot to look after this area, and I admire what they've done, allowing us four-wheel drivers, overlanders to be able to do things like this. It is fantastic. So here's to Googs himself, Dinger, Jenny, Jeffrey, the rest of the family. Cheers. Thank you for watching this episode. Stay tuned for the next episode. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share. If you want to help support us, maybe consider becoming a YouTube member. You'll be able to binge watch this series from now because it will all be uploaded. Otherwise, you can head on over to our web shop and support us by buying some merch. Alright guys, don't forget to like, subscribe. I think I've already said that, but never mind, I've said it again. Cheers, and we'll see you in the next episode.